Okay, take two. Because the first take, my mom opened the door because she was trying to poke my head in because I think she thinks I was just talking to myself in here. But, anyway, I saw this post that, or video, I guess, whatever you would call it, that Michelle put on Facebook today. And it was, I'm either assuming it was probably just because she was curious about people with accents, or maybe it was a project for her for school. I'm not entirely sure, but I actually kind of thought that the idea of it was kind of somewhat interesting. Because I know that me personally, whenever I used to go up to school up in Mansfield, Pennsylvania, it's like, it, I guess there must be some kind of drastic difference between the way that people say things up there as opposed to maybe how they do down here. Because I remember on a couple of occasions that some people who were like more from like the northern part of the state, or like gunshot, like people in like the northern part of the state, or maybe like across in like New York and everything, like I would have some people who would kind of look at me like, what kind of accent is that? And it kind of used to like throw me off. So, and like I know my roommate in particular, Tessa, like she used to make fun of me for some of the words that I used to say. So, in addition to some of the words that Michelle already has listed and her little list of questions, I'm just going to kind of toss a couple of the other words that I know that I say, or might just be like a regional thing to Juniata County. But I guess I'll take care of hers first. So, first on her list are a couple words. So, I have and, route, wash, oil, theater, iron, salmon, caramel, fire, water, shore, data, ruin, crayon, toilet, New Orleans, pecan, both, again, probably, spitting image, Alabama, lawyer, coupon, mayonnaise, syrup, pajamas, and caught. And then I just know like a couple other words that like maybe like I know that I've kind of heard before. Like Tessa used to make fun of me for saying like how I say like the word on, but I guess like whenever I say it fast, it kind of sounds like on instead of just on. I don't know exactly. Like she used to make fun of me for the way that I would say it. I don't know if there's supposed to be any kind of other way, or I just not aware that I do. I'm not entirely 100% sure, but like on, um, like water was kind of already on that list. But I've heard people around here say water. I think it all really depends on like the region, or like what your family already says. But moving on, um, first question is, what is it called when you throw toilet paper on a house? Just TP. That's all that I can think of. I know that I've said either, like if some people maybe don't understand whenever I say like TP, if they're like, I know that I've said like just we should just go like toilet paper at their house or something. I say both, but that's just me. What is the bug that when you touch it curls into a ball? I've always called it a roly-poly bug. I know that Michelle said something different, but I don't really know what it's technically called, but it's always been a roly-poly bug. Because I just know that we used to have like a lot of them downstairs in the basement, and they just appeared out of nowhere. But I digress. Um, what is the bubbly carbonated drink called? Soda. What do you call gym shoes? Sneakers. What do you say to address a group of people? Hi guys. Hey. What's up? It all really depends who I'm talking to, but for the most part, it's usually like hi guys, very indiscriminate. Um, what do you call the kind of spider that has an oval-shaped body and extremely long legs? Daddy long-legger. To answer your question, Michelle, actually, daddy long-legger spider actually is one of the more poisonous spiders in the United States, except that their mouths are too small to bite humans, so we're safe for the most part. What do you call your grandparents? I think that's kind of more like a preferential kind of thing. Like I know, like my grandmother, I called Mama. My grandfather, I called Pop. But then, like my dad's family, my dad's parents, I called like Grammy and Pappy Pal. And then more recently, Ralphie. But Ralphie kind of married into the family. He was my step grandfather. But so I kind of think that's more of like that person's personal preference. But I mean, I guess I'm just like talking like very specifically. I'll say like my gram or my pad. It doesn't really matter. Um, what do you call the wheeled contraption in which you carry groceries at the supermarket? This one kind of annoys me. think it's another one of those regional things. I've heard buggy, but I personally say cart because for me, a buggy, I think of like the little like dune buggies on like cartoons or something, or like this little like a kid's little like toy cart thing. That's what I think of when I hear buggy. So I call it a grocery cart. What do you call it when rain falls while the sun is shining? Spritzing. I don't know. I really don't call it much of anything. It's like usually if I notice it, I just kind of look up and be like, oh, hey, the sun's shining. Maybe we'll get a rainbow. I don't really call it anything. If anything, it's like sprinkling or spritzing. Then what is the thing that you change the TV channel with? A remote. It's like if you try to say clicker or flicker or whatever it is to me, I will not know what you're talking about. To me, it's a remote. So, like, she also has this gamer dialect challenge, but seeing as I'm not a gamer, I'm just a nerd who likes to sit on YouTube all day. I'll kind of like end it at that, but I just kind of thought I'd throw this in as a response to her video. So, I was like, I actually do kind of think this is really interesting, so I really do hope that some people will actually stick with it and people will continue to make videos of it, because I actually really do find it interesting, and maybe I don't realize the way that I say things until I hear somebody else say them, and I mean, I know I personally don't think I have an accent, but kind of a really cool idea, so hopefully people actually keep this up so that I can get enjoyment out of hearing the way that other people talk. I don't know. So that's it, I guess.